Alright, we got a game. I am trying to get our audio. I was trying to fiddle around with the audio quality because, I don't know, it felt kind of weird looking back at all of the previous, at the previous videos that, or at least the audio settings, the audio quality of the previous videos, yes, has been a little bit weird, so I'm trying to play around with how my mic is recording audio and all that. Hopefully it sounds a little better this time around. We'll see. Either way, we are playing a game with a Saint on the right. We've got 2 Dora. Still need to find another block. There's a player with 2 calls on the left. Now that the East is dead, we have no use for it. This 2 is, of course, useful for a block. Now, you might be wondering why I kept the East instead of these other number tiles. Because, well, if we're looking for a block, then this East should be quite weak compared to the numbers. But the reason why we're doing this is because if we do pair up the Yakuhai over here, we will be able to get a Mangan, which is kind of sweet. I think we're supposed to achieve this. And the question is, well, what do you do now? Do you want to find another block? Yeah, sure, we'll keep these in middle numbers, I guess. Well, we'll pull our Kutsuki. I'm doing this because I'm judging that bad weight 3,900 is good enough to push. Now that being said, we're still not in Tempai, which is a bit of a problem, but I think it's still okay to drop this 9. It is a little dangerous. 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop it. Of course, once we get into Tempai, we'll keep on pushing, because, like I said earlier, I'm judging that 3,900 bad weight is good enough to push against Arichi. Against the dealer might be a little bit difficult, but, well, whatever. Of course, we can also pull the Dora, and then we can get Tempai for a Mangan. That's perfectly fine as well. Now we're gonna go ahead and take this Tempai. It's a bad weight, but that's okay. This player on the left might be going for a flush, which makes our Pinza weight a little bit better than usual, but, well, of course it's still a bad weight. There we go. They kept that 4 in their hand over the 6 though, which is kind of weird, but either way, we got a 3,900 hand, which is great. Let's move on to East 2. Okay, now we've got 1, 2 and a half-ish blocks, 3.5-ish blocks. Either way, this hand is very weak shape, so we're definitely going to try and get Yakai so that we can win it quickly, more quickly. We can get some calls in this place. Here, I'm not exactly sure what to do, but I guess I'll drop the 1. There's a potential if we pair up the Dora, for example, to get Taiyao, so that's sounds like something that would be pretty nice. The reason why I'm saying that option opens up if we pair up the Dora is that if we don't pair up the Dora and only have 2 Han, then it's a little bit less attractive to sort of start calling for Taiyao. Just considering that if we have 2 Han, we cannot push against everything unless we have a good weight. Now we've got the pair up on the Dora, so we can do this. We have got 6 blocks. Even if we end up on a bad weight, it should be decently okay to push a 3 Han Tempai, which means that it's okay to call for Taiyao and lose your defense. Or it's a lot more attractive to do that, because you don't need the defense if your hand is worth pushing, right? On the flip side, if your hand is not worth pushing, then you should keep defense. Either way, we're in East 3 now. We've got 1 Dora and a Yakai pair, so we can probably win this pretty quickly. Decently cheap, but we should definitely keep avenues for value open So pairing up the Yakai would be nice. We can get into 3-Han that way. 3-Han is usually where the expensive hands start happening. Or 3-Han is usually the borderline between sort of cheap hand and expensive hand. Well, we're Ishanten, so I guess we'll drop the green here. The 4 can allow us to get the Dora for 1, and also, the Dora as in the red 5, and also gives us a chance for the 4, 5, 6 Sanshoku. So that's a pretty good tile to keep. I think we will have to pawn the red for Tenpai at this point, though. Can't really wait around. It's getting late. And anyways, I don't really want to do that, but... oh well, apparently we can't do that. Anyways, and now the question is, well, what do you do now? I think we're going to lose this Tenpai because there's only 1 tile left of it, and that's not really so great. But we're definitely going to need the red to win, so we're going to pawn it. And then we're just going to try and find... can we keep this beast? I think that would be pretty nice to keep. Yeah, I think I can drop the 7 now. If we attach something around the 4, we can get Tenpai like that. If we pair up the east, we can get a potential Mangan, which is great. And then the question is, well, what's the difference between the 7-man and the east? Well, if we draw the 6-man, we can take a 5-8 weight, which looks nice, but the problem is, like we said earlier, that the 8-man is, well, 3 out. So the actual increase in acceptance for getting the 5-8 as opposed to just the Kanchan on the 5. Wait a second, we lose the Sanjoku that way anyways, so it's really bad. Yes, we don't need this 7 at all. Right, I don't think we would be willing to drop... oh boy. I don't think we would be willing to lose Sanjoku for 1 extra tile of acceptance. Doesn't seem that worth. And you might be wondering, well, I mean, is value really that important in this situation? And I would say yes, it is decently important in this situation. It's an extra 2,900 points. It's pretty strong. This 6 should be Suji, so we can push it. If it was not Suji, it would be a little bit more of a difficult situation because it is kind of East 3 and we are first place. So it's like, well, you know, how much do we really need to push this hand? We could sort of fold and get first place going to all last. So right here, the 7 is not safe. I think we can push it. They did drop the 6 before they recheat, dropping a safe tile. So it shouldn't be that dangerous, I guess. That's why I dropped it. But yes, the 7-man could definitely have tilted. Now that we see all 4 of the 6s, oh. Now that we've seen all 4 of the 6s though, well, the 7 would be definitely very safe, had it not passed. Alright, all last, we are in first place. All we need to do is win in order to get first place. Now, in order to get last place, we would need to deal into the dealer for quite an expensive hand, which means we don't need to worry too much about dealing into, or falling into last place. So we can play pretty aggressively here, is what I wanted to say. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. This is a pretty good hand, all things considered. We have potential for Taiyao so that we can call, and Pinfu, if we can't call, is also a possibility. Here we got 5 blocks now. As for whether we want to call this hand, I think it's good to do so. The question is though, if we, for example, achieve a 6, so, not 6, so, pretty sure you drop the 6-man here. I'm willing to call Ricci if we draw the Shampoo, that's why we're keeping the acceptance. So, yes, now that we have no Taiyao, it is a little sadder. In other words, we would have to call Ricci, and if we were scared of falling down to 4th, calling Ricci gives us a bit of risk, right? Because, well, calling Ricci increases the chance that we deal in, and that is usually not very good for your placement. However, in this situation, it's not so bad, because even if we deal in well, we're probably not going to get 4th place. The dealer now is also open, although they weren't open when we made this decision. But yes, I am perfectly willing to call Ricci if we draw the 3 and the 5. However, now someone's called Ricci themselves, which means, well, since they are 3rd place, even if they win, we're going to be in 2nd place. And if we dealt into them, we would most likely be 3rd place. So, probably it would be okay for us to, what's it called, to defend against them. That being said, if we did get a good weight Tenpai, I might have considered chasing the Ricci. Or, you know, just pushing Tenpai if we had Painfu. Not really sure though. Just considering also that our 1-4 weight is technically good, but it's not really that great considering there's only, you know, there's 3 tiles cut from it. Anyways, that's enough yapping from me. See you guys next time, I guess.